Breaking news out of Nepal today. We are urgently looking at a devastating flash flood and massive landslide that just struck the Himalayan region, right near Nepal's border with Tibet. As we speak, there is a huge, high-stakes rescue operation underway, with hundreds of people still completely unaccounted for. In today's Explainer, we're going to jump right into the latest confirmed updates, break down exactly how this disaster unfolded, and look at the larger forces at play here. Okay, let's ground ourselves in exactly where and when this nightmare happened. The disaster hit on August 26th up in northern Nepal. Specifically, the Rasua and Nuakot areas have just been absolutely battered. These are really rugged, mountainous regions, and the physical devastation we're seeing is just immense. Homes, roads, bridges, and critical infrastructure were literally washed away by a powerful surge of water and mud that tore straight through the valleys. So let's take a look at the human cost of this event. According to the very latest reports, at least 157 people have been confirmed dead. I just want to pause for a second to really let the gravity of that number sink in. These are families and entire communities changed forever in the blink of an eye. And incredibly tragically, because rescue teams are still actively trying to push into cut-off areas, authorities are warning us that this confirmed death toll is likely going to change. And that brings us to an even more deeply concerning figure. More than 400 people are still missing. Now, you might be wondering, who is caught up in this massive search? Well, it's not just local residents. A lot of those missing are actually foreign nationals and travelers. You see, this specific area is a major route for people heading toward Tibet and the sacred site of Mount Kailash. So when this suddenly hit, it trapped hundreds of people in incredibly remote terrain. Let's look at the anatomy of the disaster and how this actually happened. Now, in the immediate chaos, a lot of early reports suggested an earthquake triggered the whole thing. And, that completely makes sense for a highly seismic region like this. But actually, scratch that. Scientists and the U.S. Geological Survey have since confirmed the real trigger was a powerful landslide and a massive glacial collapse. So it wasn't the ground shaking beneath them. It was the ice breaking above them. Satellite imagery actually captured the terrifying chain reaction that followed. Step 1, a huge section of a glacier simply breaks away at a very high altitude. Step 2, gravity takes over. An unfathomable amount of ice, massive rocks, and debris crash straight down into the valley. And step 3, this creates a massive downstream surge. All that displaced material pushed the river levels dramatically higher in a practically instant time frame. We are talking about an unstoppable wall of water and mud. Let's transition over to the current rescue mission on the ground. Right now, Nepalese police, security forces, and emergency teams are out there searching, but they are facing an absolute logistical nightmare. I mean, how do you rescue people when the roads to reach them are literally gone? Several key bridges are completely destroyed. Communications are down, leaving remote areas entirely cut off from the outside world. Because of this, rescuers are having to rely on helicopters, and even those can only fly when the weather cooperates. Thankfully, international assistance from neighboring countries and global organizations is stepping up to help. But I want to make this absolutely clear, the danger has not passed. Authorities are actively warning that the situation on the ground remains incredibly dangerous. With all this unstable terrain, secondary landslides are a massive, constant threat to both the survivors and the rescue teams. And as they finally push into those isolated areas, the really tough reality is that the death toll may very well rise. Which brings us to a growing, long-term threat for the entire Himalayan region. Zooming out from the immediate tragedy, experts are sounding the alarm here. This disaster perfectly highlights a severely escalating danger. We're seeing rapidly changing global temperatures, right? And that directly leads to accelerated glacier melts at these super high altitudes. When you combine millions of tons of melting ice with steep, already unstable mountain terrain, you dramatically increase the risk of these exact types of sudden landslides and glacial collapses. An expert warning recently hit the nail on the head, noting, because these events can happen extremely quickly, communities may have very little time to escape. That is the truly terrifying reality here. Unlike a hurricane that you can track for a week, a glacial collapse happens in a literal instant. A wall of debris rushes down a valley, and the people below have virtually zero warning. For now, rescue teams are continuing to search against all odds for survivors and the hundreds of people still missing. We're going to continue to follow this developing story and bring you the latest confirmed updates from the region. If you want to stay informed on this and get the latest breaking international updates, Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an explainer. Stay safe out there, everyone. But before we go, I want to leave you with this sobering thought. As the mountains continue to warm and this ice recedes faster than ever, are these vulnerable communities simply running out of time?